Right when we thought the Sixers were dead in the water, they come out of nowhere and win 4 straight games in a row. Eric Gordon has been revived, turned into Stephen Curry, and is helping the Sixers out in plenty of ways. Great game tonight, beating the Sacramento Kings, exercising some demons from that horrible game where they blew like that 10-point lead with 4 minutes left, and that pretty much got the ball rolling with them going on that 7-game losing streak. But here we are now, the Sixers. Are they back? We're going to break it down here on NZ for 3. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. But without further ado, let's talk about this massive W. First things first, we got to talk about the franchise himself, the savior, Tyrese Maxey. 30 points, 8 dimes. He was hooping once again, hitting tough one-legged fadeaways, doing everything, cooking the Kings, taking advantage of a lot of Domantas Sabonis drop coverage. He was annihilating this Kings defense. And by the way, the Kings, I'm going to keep it 100. They low-key suck so badly. The Sixers absolutely demolished them with their zone. The Kings shot horribly from 3. If we go to the stats here, we will find out that the Kings, because of the Sixers' great zone defense, which is a rarity for this team, 10 for 41 did the Kings shoot from 3. That's atrocious. I never thought that the combination of De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis, who else? DeMar DeRozan. I didn't like that DeRozan move because when you're pairing DeRozan up with De'Aaron Fox, you're getting 2 ball-dominant guards who couldn't space the floor at all. And it was tough for the Kings to get any momentum other than points in transition. They did have, a lot of points getting off, though, pushing the ball, doing all that stuff. The Sixers definitely looked like they were playing the second night of a back-to-back, but they fought through it. That's what this team has been doing these past couple of games. They've been fighting through it, but I got way sidetracked. We're talking about Tyrese Maxey here. Maxey has got to be an all-star this season. We need to push this Tyrese Maxey all-star agenda. It has to happen. This man has been hooping, carrying this garbage team to victory every single night, and it has been a joy to watch. Maxey he's averaging 35 points in his last 3 games, and I think averaging more than 28 in his last 10 or so. Maxey has been on fire, and he has been improving so much as a facilitator, being decisive, passing out of double teams. There's this one possession where Maxey got double teamed by 2 Kings. Right away, he just flipped it over to Kelly, who drove in and got a and one because the Kings player had to go over and recover. Did a couple of things, other stuff too with Yabu, same deal. Kings just pressed him up front, got to Yabu, and Yabu was doing a great job operating from the post. Didn't really have the most of an impact in the box score with 9 points, 6 rebounds. That's a decent stat line, but Yabu, dude, I got to say, he was excellent moving the ball around, and that has to go for all the Sixers in general. Yeah, I remember Max again double-teamed, kicking out the Yabu. Yabu immediately turns around, finds Ricky Council over on the right wing, and he splashes a wide-open 3. One of the biggest reasons as to why the Sixers were able to go hit this hot streak was because of their bench production. You go look at guys like Adem Bona, even Reggie Jackson and Kyle Lowry. They're all 85 years old, but they're still making an impact. I'm not going to lie. We've been bashing them so much. This fan base has been really putting Lowry and Reggie Jackson in the fire of criticism, just flaming these dudes night in and night out for being washed. But we got to give credit where credit is due. They were doing a lot on the floor. Lowry, 8 dimes, great facilitating, helping out Maxey, putting Maxey in his natural role as being an off-ball player, driving, running around screens and all of that. Reggie Jackson, too, providing an efficient scoring punch, 4 for 8, 9 points for him. So I got to give it to the Sixers bench. They have really been stepping it up lately, especially Ricky Council, the fourth. I'm going to keep it a buck. I have not liked the way Ricky has played. I had a lot of high expectations for him going into the year, but he has not stopped hustling out there. He did not give up at all. I'm sure he was hoping that he would find some more minutes from Nick Nurse, but it didn't really work out that way. He's kind of a solid guy you'd have like off the deep bench. But whenever you need him, Ricky, he just has that bulldog mentality. Kelly was a little lackadaisical tonight. Kind of did. He turned it up a little bit in the fourth quarter, got some daggers, some and ones as well, but he had a lot of tunnel vision and wasn't really recovering much on defense, not communicating. But when Ricky subbed into the game with like 5 minutes left to go in the third quarter, he gave so much more energy. He had an awesome reverse dunk. Yeah, I'm going to show that right now. Ricky Council had a sick reverse dunk, and I'm loving this dude's energy. I'm loving the way the Sixers are operating. Just so much fight, so much youth. We gave a lot of criticism to Nick Nurse for not giving the young guys a chance, but he's finally doing that. Look at this. Ricky Council. When was the last time a Sixers player did this? What, like Mac McClung? Like, that's something he would do, but that's just Ricky Council right there bringing all the hustle, bunch of energy from him. I'm liking it. I'm liking the identity the Sixers have so far. Justin Edwards, he was sort of responsible a little bit for the Kings going on a good run to start the third quarter. The Sixers had themselves a good lead to start the third quarter. Then the Kings were able to come back. He was bricking wide open threes. Kelly was bricking wide open threes. But Nick Nurse then made that adjustment, subbing in Ricky Council the fourth, and he made things all a lot better. And I got to give credit to Nick Nurse too, man. Like he's been making the necessary changes, you know, bringing in a Dembona when Yabu's struggling against Domantas Sabonis, you know what I mean? Like playing these triple guard lineups, that are faster and can, move the ball well. I've been liking the way Reggie Jackson, Kyle Lowry have both been playing. It's been working out so far. We've been given a lot of criticism to Nick Nurse, but I like the opportunity he's giving everybody. Dembona, he had 3 personal fouls, which is a good thing for bonus standards because he fouls so many times, but did have some good defense against Domantas Sabonis, not falling for any pump fakes. And yeah, the Sixers, man, it feels different. I'm not going to lie. It just feels different. Maybe it's just because the Kings suck so much. Like they are so underwhelming. We got Keegan Murray getting offensive rebounds and missing both of them. He had a decent night himself. We'll just go check what the Kings were doing. We got Malik Monk. He always cooks the Sixers, 8 for 18, 21 points. The Kings, they have a lot of talent on their team. They got the talent. They just don't have the fit. They sort of remind me of the 2020 Sixers, when we had Al Horford and Josh Richardson. They were decent players. It's just that they did not fit at all next to Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, and they should have never been there in the first place. That's sort of what I'm seeing with the Kings here with that trio of Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox, and DeMar DeRozan. They couldn't hit a 3 to save their lives. I think as a fan base, we sort of gotta understand that we understood, in the offseason that our bench would sort of be depleted just by the fact that we signed Paul George to such a large contract. There's really only so much you can do left over with the bench. We legit thought that Eric Gordon was going to be a decent player off the bench for the Sixers, and he sucked to start the season. But now he is hooping. There's nothing else about it. Eric Gordon, there's no complaints from me whatsoever. 5 for 8, 3 for 4 from deep. He had a 3 from the right wing immediately to start the game. That is his bread and butter. And he's finally being the type of player that we want the Sixers to be for ever since we signed him. Just a competent, combo guard who can catch and shoot from three, just hoist threes over and over again. And all these threes from Eric Gordon are from deep, long range, like he's Stephen Curry himself. But I'm so happy with the way the Sixers are finally playing. I don't like criticizing them every single game, and I like to see them win. And they're not too far away. I think they're only like a game away from catching up to the Chicago Bulls and securing that 10th seed. So if they can keep racking up some wins here and the Bulls can keep losing, maybe they will be setting themselves up to go at least make the play-in tournament. And as fun as it was to talk about tanking and all of that, like, either way, I don't know, really. This team has been such an emotional roller coaster for everybody that I just don't know which way to swing on the spectrum anymore. Like, should they tank or should they not tank? If they should just go in all in by the February 6th deadline and maybe acquire some pieces instead of selling. You know, keeping Yabu, who's probably going to leave, unfortunately, but he's been playing so well on this team. And about Eric Gordon, again, like, not only has it been his shooting, but his court vision, too, has been so good, too. He had a great bounce pass to Adem Bona when the Kings defense, you know, was playing super up front, did not communicate, just ignored the paint. Bona rolled right away. Bona with those great instincts he has as a backup center. He is the backup center the Sixers have been searching for the entire Joel Embiid era. He is that. He really has that potential. He has fouling problems, but his hustle, his leaping ability, just his instincts and reading the rim where the ball bounces and just covering ground. Adem Bona can really thrive in that spot, and there's a lot for him to work on. But if Nick Nurse keeps giving him time, it's going to be good, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. Justin Edwards and Bona are the only players on this team that actually cut. The Kings were cutting on so many possessions, just taking advantage of the Sixers' lack of energy sort of down the stretch. But, when you got Tyrese Maxey dropping 30 points, when you got a bench being as productive like Kyle Lowry giving you 8 assists and all of that, it really helps out in the end. And just the Kings, they cannot make a shot to save their lives. And I could attribute that to the Sixers' zone defense that has been just solid. Just a solid zone defense from the Sixers altogether, and just a solid, level of play that are keeping everyone energized. We got the Eagles, in the Super Bowl soon, but if the Sixers combine, just one more thing, the fact that the Sixers are playing with this much intensity, despite having so many guys out like Joel Embiid, PG, Caleb Martin, Jared McCain, I don't know, it just says a lot about the grit that they've shown this season. It sucks that we're at this point in the season where they're not even in the play-in tournament. There's nothing we appreciate more in Philly than our players showing heart and putting it all on the court, and that's what the Sixers have been doing. So it's been fun to watch, for real. Just them finally start to get things together. Ricky Council, I gotta say one more time, like, he was definitely one of the MVPs of this game for me. Just his energy on defense, as well as his dunking ability and his just ability to push the ball in transition and give the Sixers a spark. He drew a flagrant foul when DeMar DeRozan yanked him and made both of those free throws. And this is the first time an NBA player has ever done that, but just for the Sixers and the lack of transition ability that they've had for so long now, just seeing a guy like Ricky Council blitz his way down the basket is such fresh air. And if Kyle Lowry and Reggie Jackson can, get some more rest and continue to play well, I think the Sixers team can really set themselves up and maybe go in a buyer's mindset come the trade deadline. But that's all I got. Thank you all for tuning on in. I appreciate it. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.